Before FiLLi Cafe became a household name across the UAE, before saffron tea turned into a cultural shorthand for late nights and long conversations, there was a small cafeteria in Dubai's Mamzar neighborhood and a young man paying close attention to how people drank tea. Not how fast they drank it, but how they reacted to it, what they remembered, what they came back for. That man was Rafih Filli. FiLLi's rise is often framed as a cafe success story, but that misses the point. At its core, this is a story about restraint, about patience, about understanding that in this region, tea is not a trend or a product category. It is ritual, it is hospitality, it is how people mark time. Rafih was born in 1981 in Kasargod, a coastal town in India's Kerala state, where tea is woven into daily life. It is poured without ceremony, but never without intention. It is shared in homes, on street corners, after long days and before early mornings. These early experiences didn't teach him business. They taught him sensitivity to detail, the quiet art of noticing. When he later moved to the UAE, he entered a country built on migration, trade, and quiet ambition. His father ran a modest cafeteria in Dubai, the kind that serves neighborhood regulars without fanfare. No branding, no storytelling, just consistency. In 2004, Rafih took over the business at just 23 years old. There were no expansion plans, no branding exercises, no outside capital. There was simply a question forming in his mind. Why did so much tea taste forgettable? It wasn't a criticism, it was curiosity. He began experimenting, not as a marketing exercise, but as a craftsman, adjusting milk ratios, changing tea leaves, testing sugar levels, introducing saffron, not as a gimmick, but as a subtle layer. He worked through trial and error, often repeating the same process dozens of times to isolate what actually made a difference. Some versions were too strong, others too light. Some lacked character entirely, but each attempt brought him closer to something he couldn't yet describe, only recognize when it appeared. And while he experimented, he observed. Customers weren't data points. They were signals, a raised eyebrow, a second sip, a pause in conversation. These were the metrics that mattered. He noticed when people leaned back slightly after tasting something good. He noticed when they called a friend over to try it. He noticed when they returned the next day and ordered without hesitation. Eventually, one version made people pause mid-sip. Conversations stopped. Heads turned back to the cup. That drink became saffron tea. It was familiar but elevated, comforting but distinct. People didn't need to be told it was special. They felt it. And that feeling is what spread. Word of mouth didn't happen because of marketing. It happened because people wanted others to experience the same moment of surprise. Soon, customers stopped ordering tea altogether. They asked for that tea. The one from FiLLi. The name itself was personal. FiLLi had always been Rafih's nickname among friends. Casual, unpretentious, human. He put it on the sign. No slogan, no promise. Just a name tied to a taste that people remembered. In a city full of polished brands and curated identities, that simplicity stood out. What followed was growth, but not the kind that makes headlines. There were no viral campaigns, no overnight success moments. The cafe filled up, then spilled out. Customers drove across Dubai just for a cup. Some came daily, others weekly, but they came consistently. And consistency, Rafih realized, was both the opportunity and the risk. In 2007, he opened a second location in Menkul, knowing this was the real test. Anyone can succeed once. Repeating that success in a new environment, with a new team, under different pressures is where most businesses fail. He learned quickly that scaling flavor required discipline, not ambition. The same tea had to taste the same every time, regardless of who made it or where it was served. That meant documenting processes that had once lived only in his instincts. It meant training staff not just on steps, but on standards. It meant removing variability wherever possible. Shortcuts were not just discouraged, they were eliminated. By the early 2000s, FiLLi had multiple outlets across Dubai, yet the brand resisted becoming louder or trendier. It didn't chase menus bloated with options. It didn't rebrand itself every season. It didn't try to be everything for everyone. Instead, it doubled down on what worked. Focus became its identity. What Rafih understood instinctively was that people were not just buying a drink, they were buying a pause. In a fast-moving city, pauses are rare, and when people find one, they protect it. Students came after exams. decompressing over shared cups. Taxi drivers stopped between shifts, finding a moment of stillness. Families gathered after dinner. Friends met long past midnight, stretching conversations that didn't want to end. FiLLi became neutral ground, a place without expectations, a place where time slowed, even briefly. Tea was the anchor, but togetherness was the product. As demand grew beyond Dubai, franchising became inevitable. But for Rafih, it wasn't an obvious next step. Expansion introduces distance, and distance can dilute experience. He approached franchising the same way he approached tea, carefully, almost reluctantly. He studied what had gone wrong for others, brands that expanded too quickly, systems that broke under pressure, experiences that became inconsistent. In 2012, FiLLi entered structured franchising, not to explode across markets, but to protect consistency at scale. Each new outlet wasn't just a business decision, it was a test of whether the experience could be replicated without losing its essence. The first international outlet opened in Qatar in 2016. Others followed across the Gulf, South Asia, Europe, and the United States. With each new market, there was a question: would this translate? What surprised many observers was how well FiLLi traveled. The reason was simple. Milk tea transcends borders. Comfort does too. In Houston or London, customers didn't need cultural explanations. They understood warmth. They understood familiarity. They understood the quiet luxury of something done well. FiLLi proved that regional brands didn't need to disguise themselves as global to succeed internationally. They needed to stay honest. That honesty showed up in small details. The way tea was poured, the consistency of flavor, the restraint in menu design, even the pace of service. Nothing felt rushed, even in busy locations. The menu expanded slowly, always anchored by tea. Iced variations were introduced for warmer climates. Small snacks were added, designed to complement, not distract. Rafih remained wary of dilution. Brands lose their identity when they forget what made people care in the first place. Growth for him was not about adding more. It was about refining what already existed. Internally, this meant building systems that could carry the brand forward without constant oversight. Training became more structured, quality control became more rigorous, supply chains were tightened. The goal was not perfection, but reliability. Because reliability builds trust, and trust over time becomes habit. With scale came responsibility, not just to customers, but to the environment and the community. In recent years, FiLLi launched sustainability initiatives aligned with the UAE's environmental priorities, including biodegradable cups embedded with gaf seeds, turning waste into growth. It was a small gesture, but a meaningful one. The symbolism mattered. Every cup should leave something behind, and not just profit. Recognition followed quietly. Business awards, case studies, speaking invitations. FiLLi became shorthand for cafe culture in the UAE, a reference point, a benchmark. Rafih himself appeared on stages and panels, but never louder than the brand. That restraint was deliberate. He believed founders should build systems that outlive their voices. Personal recognition was secondary to institutional strength, because brands that rely too heavily on personalities often struggle to endure. Rafih Filli is not obsessed with disruption. He is obsessed with refinement. Better systems, better training, better consistency. He believes entrepreneurship is not about speed, but about staying power. In a region often chasing the next big thing, FiLLi's success lies in repetition done well, in showing up every day and delivering the same experience, cup after cup, year after year. There is no shortcut to that kind of trust. It is built slowly, and it is easily lost. Today, FiLLi Cafe operates across multiple countries, with Dubai still firmly at its heart. The ambition now is not rapid expansion, but endurance. To become the world's most respected tea brand by respecting the ritual that made it matter in the first place. Because trends fade, but rituals remain. Rafih Filli did not reinvent tea. He listened to it. He paid attention to how people experienced it. And in doing so, he built something rare. A brand that feels personal at scale. A place where the product is simple, but the experience is layered. Where the offering is consistent, but the meaning evolves with each person who walks in. From a small cafeteria in Mamzar to cafes across continents, this was never just about tea. It was about care. The kind of care that shows up in details most people overlook. the kind that compounds quietly over time. And when care is repeated often enough, consistently enough, it becomes something bigger than a product or a brand. It becomes culture.